All right, it is very late. We're talking past 10, so expect this video to release tomorrow morning, the day after earnings here. We're going to be pretty crammed tomorrow morning, so I got, obviously, this will be the first one I release here on Baidu. I'll be talking about IQ as well, and then afterwards, tomorrow morning, we'll be covering Walmart, as well as Home Depot, I believe, reports. So we'll be talking about those tomorrow morning as well. So it's going to be pretty crammed. A bunch of good videos coming out, so just keep an eye out for those. So for Baidu, you see after hours up 8%, after already rallying 7.7% in the normal trading session. So obviously these earnings coming out after hours. We'll see if it carries over onto tomorrow. I think it entirely depends on kind of how the market's doing. But obviously you have to have good results to post an 8% gain, right? So headline I don't like on this personally. Baidu beats by 69 cents. Ooh, I do like that headline. But anyways, so they posted a non-GAAP EPS of $1.25, which beat by 69 cents. But their GAAP EPS missed by 23 cents and was literally break even. Completely flat. So, and again, I don't like the distinction between non-GAAP and GAAP EPS. Personally, I like to look at the GAAP EPS number because the GAAP EPS number shows if the company's actually making profit versus by their metrics they are, but again, their metrics are a little bit different. GAAP is a way you can actually fairly compare every company because it's the same standard principles that everyone goes by. Non-GAAP kind of depends on the company how they do that. So by their metrics, they had a very profitable quarter. But if you look from a GAAP standpoint, not so much. So we'll look at that info, though, and see what that means for them. So that's not, all things considered, not awful. You expected an EPS hit, definitely, in terms of at least, GAAP, I guess. Just because of everything going on right now. Their whole quarter pretty much was impacted by this in terms of expenses. So a company like Baidu, you expected certainly to be hit a lot more. Revenue, though, $3.18 billion, which was down 11.4% year over year, beat by $90 million. Not massive results on that aspect, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Those numbers don't look insane to me by any aspects, either the EPS or the revenue line. 90 million beats good, but it's really not much. If we're talking about a 3.18 billion number for a quarter, 90 million isn't much. It's relatively flat. Might as well just be in line. So 8% rally. There's got to be something we're missing here. Got to be something we're missing. So let's talk about this. Revenues fell 7% to 22.5 billion yuan. They were down about 22% from the previous quarter. Don't like that personally either, but again, quarter over quarter, not a very good fair metric to go off of most of the time because some businesses are a little bit more cyclical where some quarters they receive a lot more business than others. So operating loss was more than halved, and I think that could be part of it. So a loss of about $62 million from a year ago, a loss of 936. So they halved it. They certainly did halve their loss, which is really nice. That's pretty much that's massive. So overall, they did post a loss, but it wasn't much. 62 million is not much, all things considered, when you're putting up a revenue number of 3 billion in a quarter. So, but on a non-GAAP basis, obviously they showed a massive rise. 1.44 billion yuan, 3 times as much as they had previously in a year ago. So net income jumped up 219% from a year ago. Debatable. So with the pandemic coming under control in China, offline activities are rebounding, and Baidu stands to benefit from a restart of the Chinese economy. And the Chinese economy certainly is restarting. And I think you see that a lot. They've had the first positive quarter or positive month for auto sales in years. So I think the Chinese economy is on its way up, rebounding finally. Obviously, this is going to take a long process for this to happen. I think there's a good chance that they'll rebound pretty well. But I guess it depends. It is hard to say for China. manufacturing jobs could be cut there. Well, I don't know. It's debatable to say if they're even jobs when they're, with the money they're making. But we'll see. It's definitely a good thing to look at for China. That's why these Chinese companies are. It's hard to go off of right now. It's hard. It's hard to. Some people say they really don't trust the results they post either because they're not necessarily forced to go through the same standard guidelines that American companies have to when reporting earnings. But I think I trust Baidu personally as far as this is concerned. So the company notes that in March, traffic stayed robust with Baidu app daily active users up 28%, in-app search queries up 45%, and feed time spent up 51%. Given the headwinds, Baidu focused on quality revenue growth and continued to be disciplined with spending return on investment to maximize long-term shareholder value. For Q2, it is giving guidance about 3.5 to 3.9 billion, representing a growth of a loss of 5 to 4% year over year. Or really, it could be positive, negative 5% to positive 4% year over year. Pretty wide range, but nothing crazy there. It assumes core revenue growth range will be from negative 8% to 2%. So nothing overly impressive again, all things considered. We look at these results, which we'll take a look. So we'll look at some of these bullet points that they're pointing out, just see really what they have going on. Baidu retooled its AI capabilities to help users, municipalities, and health organizations better cope with the pandemic. Good for them. Yeah, very good. They're doing a lot as far as getting people in contact. It's kind of how in the USA we're having companies like Microsoft and Apple step in, trying to help people become more informed, stuff like that. That's kind of what Baidu's doing there. It's all about that outreach from the mobile ecosystem. The Baidu active users are up 28% from the app. Pretty nice. So the Baijiao publishers' accounts reached 3 million. That's how you pronounce it. Don't you dare tell me it's not. You will get these hands if you tell me it's not. 44% year over year in March of 2020. More original content creators are joining Baidu due to the large user scale of the Baidu platform, including the Baidu app, Huacan, Quanmin, and Baidu Wiki. Baidu Wiki. What? Okay. App developers are migrating to Baidu Smart Mini program, which allows users to access information and services within the Baidu app from its networks without having to download the individual apps. Baidu Smart Mini program monthly active users reached 354 million, which is up 96% year over year. Now, that's good numbers. From the DuerOS, monthly voice queries on Xiaodu. It's Xiaodu. Sorry, Xiao. Come on. I know Chinese. Xiaodu devices reached 3.3 billion, up almost fivefold from last year. Voice queries up pretty big. Total monthly voice queries 6.5 million, up threefold from last year. Pretty crazy. That is really, really crazy. Yeah, I don't know. That's very exciting in my aspect. If you look at that, so Baidu signed a strategic agreement with a major public utilities company to provide AI enterprises solutions to improve customer services and office productivity. The public utilities company leveraged Baidu's newly launched AI platform as a service to enable its customers to purchase electricity through facial recognition at its customer service centers, which significantly shortened queue time. Pretty cool. From Apollo, so Apollo continues to win smart transportation projects for municipalities, including Hefei. That's right, that's what I'm calling it. Not Hefei, it's Hefei. Yangquan, Yangquan, and Chongqing. That's right. That's how you pronounce it. With state-of-the-art infrastructure solutions and smart transportation, Apollo received top ranking in 2019 Beijing Autonomous Vehicles Road Test Report So again, it's one of these companies that's really involved in a lot of different fields, and they're very well diversified. I do like the company for sure. They're obviously going to mention IQ because that's right. They're included in this, and we'll be talking about IQ in a separate video of its own. IQ subscribers were up 23% year over year. IQ's large subscriber base further strengthens IQ's foundation to produce entertainment-oriented blockbuster originals. Pretty nice. So that's really all we need to look at there. Besides, if their balance sheet is going to be accurate for me, let us take a look at their balance sheet, right? Now, it's split up a little weird here. Just a little weird. I believe. Am I right? Yeah, they're doing it, I believe, in yuans on the two left sides here. We'll look at the far right for US dollars, just because, we like the US dollars. We don't know the Chinese currency, unfortunately. I know the conversion rate, but I'm not doing that math right now on the fly. I'm sorry. You see, overall, they lost quite a bit of assets year over year, though. They have around 1/3 that they have in terms of cash and cash equivalents. But overall, if you look from a total current assets perspective, it's really the same exact number there. They made up for that in, I guess, making some short-term investments. So definitely one thing to look at. So let's see, total assets in general of $42 billion, $42 billion US dollars. But you see overall that is just a slight decrease year over year, nothing major, or that's quarter over quarter, I should say. Whew, my bad. Not much of a decrease there. Liabilities, total current liabilities of $7 billion only. $7 billion? What? $7 million. What the crap? And total liabilities in general of $18 billion. And that is against a pretty much the same as what they had last quarter. So nothing major in terms of that. Overall, their assets outweigh their liabilities by quite a bit if we are to believe these numbers. These are just very good numbers. And the company obviously can bring home money. They're bringing home money. They're bringing home bacon. This quarter was not a great one for them necessarily in terms of that. But overall, that is pretty nice in terms of numbers. Yeah, I don't know. I think this company is definitely at the point where it's a little overinflated. And I get the reason for the excitement here. But PE ratio reaching a little bit of extreme values here. I don't think there's really good value in this stock right now. Not saying it won't go up, because I think there is a chance. But I think you are better off probably purchasing here in the $80 range, most likely. When overall, this thing it's reached higher points than 116, obviously. But I just think based off of value perspective, it's not necessarily there. And I do think people could make money purchasing this stock even at these levels. But I personally don't think it's that point. It's a great company, really great company. If you want to get in China, Baidu's a great company to invest in. So really, I think that is entirely up to you. If you want some Chinese diversification in your portfolio, which I think you should definitely have some international diversification. Baidu's not a bad company to get involved with. You could think about them, Alibaba. There's plenty of companies that you can really get involved with. Baidu's not an awful buy at this point, but I don't think there's, from a strictly value perspective, there's not that much value here for the next little while. By a little while, I mean even probably a year out. So it is entirely up to you what you decide on that, but I really hope you enjoyed.